All right, peace, peace, peace. Well, first and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall is blessing your day. By His mercy, if you want to consume, we're alive. And the Most High in your house shall body, and two are naturally alive. And yeah, man, we want to get into this, man, because it's kind of how the Most High in your house shall tells the end from the beginning, and how, like, really it's like how more like it's like things are pleasures, man. Honestly, how even in the beginning he told us how it's his pleasure to give us a kingdom. Now we're gonna look at this because today's the 20th, and I was looking at Genesis 20 earlier. We're gonna look at this in the natural with Abimelech and Abraham and Sarah, but because we know in this context Abimelech is talking about in Egypt, honestly, like or honestly, like that's what he's talking about. I think it's Egypt, or he's talking about the land where he dwelt at the time. I think this Abimelech was, in Egypt. Honestly, yeah, I think so. But anyway, um, but pretty much, man, he tells Abraham and Sarah this is his land, like is the dwell is pleasing. Now we going to look at this in the aspect of how in spiritually gospel witness testimony wise, how honestly it was his pleasure, it's the Most High House's pleasure to give us a kingdom, man. Honestly, not like, and I was just thinking about this earlier, how much more better is it that's why it said a better covenant and a better promise, because the first one, all the promise was just the land. Honestly, the land, that was just really like the promise. But you know it is too, after even our ancestors, our forefathers, every like received the promise, they died. But now that's why I said a better covenant, because why? The word is in you. The kingdom, like the place of the promise, like the place of pleasure, the land, like the kingdom, New Jerusalem is within you, and also to overcoming death, you'll be in the everlasting kingdom. Honestly, that's what it is too. Honestly, so like with the word being in you, His Spirit, the Most High House, His Spirit, and also too like the word is in you, man. New Jerusalem, the land, like His kingdom is within you. The everlasting kingdom with no end is promised as well, I should say, honestly. But it all starts within, honestly. Like Lauryn Hill said in the day, how back in the day, how you gonna win if you're not right within? But also too, man, that's why you could tell it was a better covenant, because because even like right, that was the problem. The first covenant, man, was really the land, the promised land. Honestly, can't Israel, honestly, which was Canaan, then Israel. But what did Yahushua say? Anybody that one of the things they say, anyone that leaves lands and everything of that nature to follow me, that's you'll receive sevenfold in the now in the world to come. So that's how I could tell, what the promise is, a better covenant now. The greater promise is now, what we just discussed. But we're going to look at this Genesis 20 and verse 15 real quick. It says, and Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleaseth thee. So see, let's go to Luke real quick. So let's read this one more time. Then going to read Genesis 20 again. It says, and Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleaseth thee. So honestly, so let's get Luke chapter 12, verse 32. It says, fear not, my little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Exactly, man. So, that's just is what it is. The inward and inward kingdom, honestly, is like His word, the Most High House is the word, the place of pleasure, New Jerusalem, the kingdom is the word within you. Honestly, also to the physical kingdom as well, man. So, so let's read this Luke chapter 12, verse 32. Fear not, little flock, for it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So, let's grab this too, honestly, because how much more is the believers? Because it's nothing wrong, and it's always good to be around people that's pleasing to dwell with, honestly. But really, the Most High house shot, like it says in 1 John, one that dwells within us, honestly. Because I was gonna get it, but we could just quote it, because like it says, let's just get it real quick, man. Because how much more is it somebody that believes, honestly, to dwell with, the Most High house shot dwelling with their wife that believes, honestly. Because let's get this too. Because this is talking about, for brothers and sisters in the word, that if you, if your wife doesn't believe or your husband doesn't, believe, honestly, you're still bound to them, at least except if they die pursuant to the law. But, but if they don't believe, or they're just good people, they're good to do, don't forsake them. You can't, that is what it is, honestly. Don't, But how much more in this context what we talking about is a believer, man. Like, like with the Most High Yahushua being with his wife and his his sons and daughters that believe. But yeah, verse 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 14, it says, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else your children are unclean, now they are holy. So yeah, exactly, man. So that's but verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let them depart. A brother or sister under bondage is in such cases, but Yahweh call us unto peace. So see, that's really going into listen. If your spouse pretty much like is follows another like especially during that time, but they still worship like the gods and things of that nature, that's kind of on them. Honestly, they decide to leave you and this and that. You still can't remarry unless they die. But listen, that's on them. But even now, if like your spouse, your loved one, like brothers, your wife or sister, your husband don't believe, and they decide to leave, and hey, that's on them. Honestly, the Most High Yahushua called you. Honestly, like idealistically, we want the Most High Yahushua, like to for them to follow, but that's is what it is. That comes with what Yahushua said. You can't love anybody before me, honestly. So you can love them, but you can't love them before me. So that's another story for another day. But in the context of this, how much more is it like like you said, he dwells a land that to dwell with where it pleases thee. So how much more of with the unbelieving, for us it's the unbelieving, it's somebody that's pleasing to dwell, but for the Most High Yahushua, how much more it's pleasing for him to be with his wife that believes, honestly. So we're gonna say that honestly, but like First John says, when he dwell within us, man, honestly, man, that's the Most High Yahushua's pleasure. That's the kingdom dwelling within you, man. Honestly, that's really a pleasure, to the Most High Yahushua. And that's Zebulon, man. What's Zebulon mean? To dwell. So what's that? He dwelleth within us. Let's look at that. Okay, I want that. Yeah, let's look at this. Well, let's look at this real quick, because I'm trying to find it. I know it's in First John, I just haven't read it in a while. Oh yeah, First John 4 and 13. Okay, I had to get the other one. Okay, First John chapter 4 verse 13 says, it's right in my face. Hereby in that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he has given us his spirit. You see, kind of all what we've been talking about, when the Most High Yahushua is dwelling within us, man, that's something pleasing, for us. That's pleasing to the Father, it's pleasing to the Father and us, honestly, for him to dwell within us, man. Honestly, and that even goes beyond the land, even in the beginning, what it say, even the first covenant. That's why it says the better covenant, better promises, man. So this is what it is. Like the brother sent me first will say, he never promised us in the first covenant his spirit, man. So that's the importance of the new covenant with the gospel, witness, testimony, things of that nature, man. But hopefully it's edifying for you brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's a little late. So peace.